Hello, Flosstube. Welcome to the 20-Minute Stitcher, Flosstube episode number 21. I had to look at my little cheat sheet. I am Heather, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, if you are returning, welcome back. Always happy to have you spend some of your time with me. I'm coming to you a little late with this episode. Typically, I record on the weekends. Today is Monday, July 25th, 2022. I am on my lunch break from work and thought I would quickly film my episode. The weekend was one of those weekends where we weren't super busy, but the things we did have going on were sort of spaced just at the right intervals apart from each other that we didn't get much else done this weekend. But it was a good weekend. My son had a hike with his Cub Scout pack. We went and saw a show last night at Playhouse Square in Cleveland. Fun fact, Cleveland has the second largest theater district in the United States, second only to Broadway in New York. And we get really great Broadway National Touring Company shows that come through. So last night we saw Ain't Too Proud, the story of the Temptations. Very good show. My parents particularly enjoyed it since that was the music that they kind of grew up with their young adulthood. But even my kids enjoyed it as well did I. So that is why I'm coming a little bit late. Just didn't have the time to sit down and get organized enough to record my Flosstube. So I got myself organized last night and said on my lunch break I'll record. Have a lot of little stuff to show you today, which will sort of make sense, I think, in a minute. I do have a finish. I'm very excited about that. However, that finish meant that not much got done on other whips. I kind of went a little crazy and threw my plans for July out the window because I was so close to finishing this project that I just wanted to finish it. So I have a finish. I have one new start. I needed another new start, but I have one new start, 2 whips to show, a question for all of you seeking some recommendations for some things, and then a shout out for a newer Flosstube channel that I'm enjoying and want to share with you. So let's get right to it, shall we, since I'm on my lunch break. Did I mention that? So my finish, you may not be surprised to learn, especially if you watched the video that I uploaded yesterday, my attempt at a short that didn't really go very well, learning to use my overhead camera. But I finished Lizzie Kate's Christmas Is. And so wanted to share, if you didn't see yesterday's video, share that with you. It is not ironed yet or anything, but here it is. Christmas Is by Lizzie Kate. I finished this yesterday morning, so Sunday, July 24th. And there you go. This was super fun to stitch, super easy. And one of the things I love about Lizzie Kate patterns is most of them are pretty quick stitches and fun to stitch. So this one's going to get framed so I can hang it up at Christmas time. And this was using all the called for Weeks Dye Works floss. And this was on 32 count Lugana from Bestitch Me. I believe this color was called Coconut or Coconut Husk or something. I'll double check and I'll put in the description what this is actually called. But there we go. Christmas Is by Lizzie Kate. That was my finish. So I am going to start, especially since today is, I guess, officially Christmas in July, since it's July 25th. I contemplated starting my second Christmas pattern since July is almost over, but I am going to go ahead and start it today. So I'll show you that at the end of the video. So my new start is a Halloween stitch along. That is a mystery stitch along. So I don't have a picture to show. Well, I guess maybe I can put up a picture of what's been released so far. But it is the Haunted Library Stitch Along by LolaCrowCrossStitch, who has an Etsy shop, and I will link it in the description. But it is, I hemmed and hawed on this one for the longest time because I was like, I'm going to be starting Halloween Quaker in September. I'm going to be starting my Cherry Blossom Dragon from my Needle and Note box in September. I have a lot of whips going on. I'm like, I really don't need, I'm supposed to be doing Jolly in July. Like I have another Christmas start I'm going to start. Like I don't need another one. But it's literary, guys. Like each release is like literary related. Spooky, cute, fun. The teasers were just like adorable. So I finally just caved and said, you know what? I'm doing it. So super excited about that. And so what has been released so far is just what she has called the prologue. So it's basically the foundation for the piece, which for this one, right, a lot of stitch alongs, it's a border or something like that. For this one, it is actually like an old Victorian Gothic, like balcony and staircases down on either side. And then obviously each chapter, so each release of the Mystery Stitch Along is she's calling a chapter, again, since it's literary themed, will sort of fit somewhere in or on or around that staircase. So I got started on that. We have 5 weeks to stitch the prologue, and then the first chapter will release whatever 5 weeks from July 22nd is, the very end of August or very beginning of September. So this is my start so far. I'm gonna make sure I have it right side up here. Yes. So I didn't get very far. I only worked on this one day, but I got about 140 stitches in or so on the sort of bottom left of the staircase. And just really, really excited about this one. I am stitching this. It's just the called for DMCs. And this is, again, from Bestitch Me, 32 count Lugana. It's from my Fabric of the Month Club. And this is in the color It's a Mystery. It seemed appropriate. So, and the flosses for this, I'm really excited about the colors that are going to come in on this one, because the flosses for this, sorry, most of them were on bobbins, and they were like the ends of a lot of my bobbins. So the flosses, I know this one's going to make me crazy with knots and tangles because my floss is so bent from having been on bobbins for so long. Hopefully it'll relax itself some being on the floss drops. But these are the colors. So it's sort of a neat mix of what you would expect, but then also some really nice brights, like the reds and the oranges and the yellows, the purples. So I'm really, really excited for where this one's going to go. So that was my new start, the Haunted Library Stitch Along. Not too late to join if you're interested. I believe there's a hashtag, but I will find it and put it in the description if there is. And I probably need to like measure and trim my fabric because I just have all of it here. So that was my new start for this week. All right, so then my other whips were the Magic Kingdom Stitch Along and When Witches Go Riding. I almost wasn't even going to bother to show these because I only worked on each of those once this week, one day this week, and didn't get much progress done because I'm called the 20-minute stitcher for a reason, right? Each one I really only had, I think, about 30 minutes or so to stitch each time. So Magic Kingdom Stitch Along from Cunning Cross Stitch. Again, you're probably like, wow, where did you even add? So I filled in down here. So I added some more of the green and this kind of brown and silvery gray. I'm not even sure what that is. I think it's a chair and maybe, I don't know, and maybe a path or something. But this is the Alice in Wonderland scene. This is from February of 2021, 2020. I don't remember when this actually started. It's old. It's a long time. So that's all I got done on the Magic Kingdom Stitch Along. I have not been giving this the love that I was supposed to be giving it this month. So perhaps this week, this will be my focal piece this week. So yeah, I think I will. I think I will make this my focal piece this week. I think I will try and finish the Alice in Wonderland scene this week, which is a lofty goal, but I'm going to try and do it because this poor piece needs love. It's been neglected far too long. So that was my Magic Kingdom Stitch Along. And then my Monday stitches, or my Monday stitch this month is When Witches Go Riding, since Halloween is on a Monday. And again, that was the only day I worked on her, and didn't get a whole lot done. I finished her hair, finished her arm and sleeve here, and started her broomstick here. So again, that's all I got done. Today's Monday, so I will work on her some today, time permitting, but I am also going to stitch start my other new Christmas start since it is July 25th. And I forgot to show, sorry, I had things in the wrong order. I had my fabric above. I'll put the picture in. Again, I've got the card in showing the floss colors and symbols, the key. So that was When Witches Go Riding. So again, not a whole lot of progress done, but did get some progress done, just a little bit. As I said, I spent, looking at my calendar, I stitched on Christmas is, every single day. I stitched on it last Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, and Friday. I finished it and then finished it yesterday. And then on Monday, I stitched When Witches Go Riding. Wednesday, I didn't stitch at all. I kitted up the Haunted Library. Thursday, I didn't stitch at all. And then Saturday, I worked on the Haunted Library. So yeah, I really pretty much only worked on Christmases this week to get it finished. But now that it's finished, and since today is officially Christmas in July, I am going to go ahead and get started on my Little House Needleworks Jingle All the Way. So I know I showed last week the fabric that I had chosen and the flosses that I had finally picked up so that I could kit it. Haven't started it yet. Like I said, I'll start it today. But for reference, this is the pattern. Sorry, the glare there. Jingle All the Way from Little House Needleworks. So I will start this today. And this might be the only time it gets touched this week because I really do want to make sure that I am continuing to work on Haunted Library. So I really, really want to try and keep up with that one. And I really want to give the Magic Kingdom some love because the poor thing has been neglected for far too long. But anyway, so I'm going to start this today. So I'll have this to share, my start on this one to share in my next video. So that is all the stitching I have for this week. I know it's a little light, but hopefully you all are excited by the finish. And the finish leads me to, even though that one I'm going to frame, here's my question, my search for recommendations for you. So I do have a box down in the basement, which maybe I should make a video of that too, of prior finishes that some of them I know what I want to do with them and I just need to FFO them. But others, I stitched them as part of a challenge, or like I stitched them because I liked the pattern, but that's not necessarily something that I want to frame or always have out. And I've seen some cross-stitchers share journals that they keep. In fact, I think in one of my very early videos, one of my viewers even suggested that I should start a cross-stitch journal to put some of my finished pieces in and things of that sort. So I'm thinking about doing that, but I know I've seen some that if you just use a regular journal, then it gets like super fat and won't close or sit on a shelf because of the fabric that you're gluing in. And I've seen some people that I probably should reach out to them who seem to have special journals that have extra room in the binding so that they will still close as you add things to them. But they haven't shared in their video descriptions who makes those journals or where to find them. So that's my question. That's my search for recommendations. I am leaning towards starting a journal. I already keep a notebook where I write, what I've worked on, dates I stitched on them, start date, finish date, things like that. That's more, and I sometimes put photos, or at least I plan to put photos of my projects in there, which is really great, especially for ones that I stitch as gifts. But I was thinking of starting an actual scrapbook. I guess it's a scrapbook of sorts, right? A stitchy scrapbook for some of my other finishes that I don't want to frame or do anything else with. But I am really struggling to find something that will work well for this kind of a project. So if you know of anyone who makes those kinds of journals, or if you keep one and you have a journal that you really like and enjoy, would love your recommendation for how to do that, because they're fine laying in a box, but I feel like it would be nicer to have them in something that is something I could flip through if I want to at some point in time. So if you know of anything, have any recommendations, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to be able to check them out and see if anything would work. So thank you in advance for anything that you have to share. Appreciate that. And then finally today, as I said, today's going to be a shorter video. Wanted to give a shout out to a newer Flosstube channel if you haven't seen them yet. Their channel name is CrossCountryCrossStitch, and they are a pair of cousins, T and Alex, who I actually met at StitchCon back in June. They are cousins. T lives in Denver, and Alex lives, I forget where, in North Carolina. She lives in a really cool cabin somewhere in North Carolina. And they started a Flosstube shortly after StitchCon, and so it's super fun. Cross Stitch is one of the ways that they stay connected and share time together, and now they're sharing time together, recording a Flosstube together. They have three episodes, 2 episodes in a whip parade, I think, maybe 3 episodes in a whip parade released so far, so I will link them below. And they're just fun. It's a fun dynamic, the two of them as cousins and besties, sharing their love of cross stitch with each other and with all of us. So if you have not seen them yet, definitely encourage you to go check them out. That is Cross Country Cross Stitch, T and Alex. That is all I have for you today. I hope that you are all well and enjoying these last days of July as we get ready for all that August and September bring for our families. And take care of yourselves, take care of each other, hug your loved ones, and I will see you soon. Happy stitching. Bye.